Hey guys, welcome back to West Virginia Boys TV. It's been a while since we've released a video. We've been busy, but we're going to get back into the swing of things, and today we're going to start off a series of gun cleaning videos. Just step-by-step tutorials on how to strip down and clean guns.
Okay. What's the very first thing we do when we're cleaning a gun?
Always make sure it's unloaded.
All right. You always make sure the gun's unloaded. Um, and you know, you always start with making sure the gun's unloaded. You never want to work with a loaded gun. So, first gun we have here is a carry gun. It is a Taurus PT709 Slim. It is loaded, and that's why we always start with making sure the gun's unloaded. We always assume a gun is loaded because most of the time a gun is loaded. So, drop the magazine, always pull the slide back, confirm the gun's empty.
Yep.
If you're working with somebody beside you, always have the person you're working with make sure the gun's empty as well. You don't want somebody to pick up a gun that they didn't clear themselves and not know that the gun was cleared correctly. So you always just want to assume it's loaded unless you confirm it's clear. So the reason we're cleaning these guns haven't been shot. I don't think they've been shot. But where we carry them all the time, where they're close to your body and you sweat, they are prone to getting pretty nasty. So even if you don't take your gun out and shoot it often, it's still a good course of habit to clean the gun, especially a carry gun. If you're going to carry it, I'd probably clean it at least every 3 months or so, just to put some oil on it to keep it from getting a lot of moisture on there. Where I carry my guns, they'll oftentimes get wet even if it's raining. So you always just want to keep your equipment in good working order. So this gun's been cleaned. We're just real quickly going to break this gun down. And one reason I like this gun, it's very easy to take apart. So it's a very small gun to carry and conceal. It does have a captured spring. For those of you that don't know what a captured spring is, that's a slide spring that is captured in place. They'll always have a drive rod going through the spring. Some springs are captured, some springs are not captured. In fact, we'll probably clean a few guns here in a minute that don't have a captured spring, but this gun does have a captured spring. So you pull your spring, you pull your barrel. We have this gun broken down to its 4 basic parts, and it's ready to be cleaned. So this gun in particular has been fired, and if you've got a few guns and it's hard to keep track of what you've taken to the range or what you may have practiced with, it's always good just to take a look, because if the gun had not been fired, we could just as easily wipe the gun down, but since we know the gun has been fired, we're going to give it a little bit better cleaning. So what we have to clean pistols with is a nice little gun master. This is a cheap kit you can get at Walmart. It can be had very inexpensively. You could have a very expensive gun. It doesn't take a very expensive gun cleaning kit to clean that gun. What I've found, if you use this stuff a lot, and we shoot a lot, as long as you're using good brushes and good oil, it doesn't matter if you pay $50 for a gun cleaning kit or $7, as the case may be for this one. So what I like to do when I'm cleaning my guns is I like to work with the dirtiest parts first, and in this case it's almost always going to be the barrel. So you always want to start by running your brush through the barrel a few times just to dislodge any foulings or loose material that's in there, and run it a few times through the barrel. you know, I like to push the brush from the same direction that the bullet will be fired first. In a pistol, it doesn't really matter. You could go from tip of the barrel back to the breech, or breech to the tip of the barrel. Since you're pulling the brush back out, it's not going to matter. I just like to work from the back of the barrel, because on smaller bore guns, you could hurt the crowning of the barrel. So it's always good to work from the breech side of the barrel. And once you get the barrel cleaned up pretty good, just inspect it, and it looks pretty good. What else we have here? We have a small brass bristle brush. Most of these parts in these guns are going to be stainless steel, at least in most quality guns. And you want to use a softer metal on the gun than it's made of. And that's why this brush is brass. It's almost always going to be softer than the component that you're working on, unless that component is plastic. And you don't want to use a brass brush on plastic parts or nylon. It can mar them up. So what we're doing is we're just dislodging the carbon buildup on the back side of the barrel, and that's just to try to knock all the loose material off. This gun doesn't look like it was fired a whole lot the last time I shot it, and that's pretty evident based on the amount of carbon and blowback inside of the slide. Yeah, it's not that dirty. Hunter, you care to get me a rim oil wipe? So we like to use the rim oil wipes. Everybody has their own opinion of the type of oil and the type of cleaning. These feel kind of dry, don't they?
Yeah, this one's better if you.
Yeah, this one's okay. So everybody has their own opinion on the type of oil. I like to wipe the components down with a rim oil wipe. It does a good job getting a lot of the carbon buildup off. We use Hope's number 9. It's a micro application bottle. It's got a little metal nozzle up here. It makes it very convenient so that you don't have to lather the gun in oil. Just get the oil on the parts that need it. So that'll keep the gun from being, drippy and just generally slick to hold on to, which you don't want. So we just take the rim oil wipes. You can buy a package of these. These are like baby wipes, just for big boys, I guess. You get them back in the hunting and fishing section of Walmart, or in the cleaning aisle section of Field and Stream or Cabela's. Really just try to get the carbon and the discharge blowback wiped up as best you can. It's best if you can keep from it. These guns are all polymer. Most of the carry guns that we carry are almost always going to have polymer frame. It allows the gun to be a lot more durable. So you don't really want to wipe the outside of the polymer frame down. One thing I do like to do is just get the metal portions that are inset in the polymer, wipe those down with this rim oil. And what that does while you're cleaning it, it's also leaving a thin layer of oil over the metal. And that's really all that's required to keep this gun from rusting and not being functional when you need it. Because the one thing you don't want is the gun to not work if you should need it, especially since it's a carry pistol. So we always start with the polymer section and then work up to the slide itself. And I don't know if the camera's picking this up, but as you wipe over the slide, you'll notice the slide's getting very shiny. This is a matte finish slide anyway, so it's not going to keep that sheen. It's just going to look like that while we're wiping it down. And wipe the upper and the lower section of the slide. A lot of these slides can't even be aluminum anymore, depending on the type of gun you have. So the slide can be aluminum, and it'll have stainless steel or some other type of metal inset into it. They'll do that for weight, but I'm not too worried about weight, and I like to be able to feel the gun on my side or wherever I may be carrying it anyway. So I'm not a real big fan of the really light guns. So get this wiped down real good. Yep. All right. Alright, the one thing you want to make sure you get real good is the extractor. You want to make sure the extractor is nice and loose. That's also a section that you will want to get some oil on, just to make sure it stays well oiled. You definitely don't want the extractor getting hung up on you. That would not be a good thing. That'll make a well-functioning gun not a well-functioning gun pretty quickly. At least you might get one round off, but that might be the only thing that gun does that day, and that would be not good. So, if you notice, we just used one rim oil wipe, and we kind of cleaned the whole gun with it, and it works out pretty well. If it's a small gun, you really don't need to use a lot of oil or a lot of wipes to get it clean. One thing I do like to do is just take a look at the barrel and make sure it is not got any foulings or carbon buildup at the break of the barrel where the casing will seat, because that could keep a round from fully loading, and that would be not a good thing. So this gun looks pretty clean. Real quick, well, not real quick. We actually slowed this process down quite a bit to try to make this video. Usually these guns, if I'm just sitting here going through and cleaning them, I could break this gun down, have it cleaned up, and have it reassembled and some rounds back in it in the course of 2 or 3 minutes. It doesn't take a lot if you break your guns down often. It doesn't take a lot of time to clean them, which is why I am so shocked that a lot of people never clean their guns. And you know, a lot of people say these days you don't really have to clean your gun that often. They're not completely wrong. You know, we have abused some guns, and by abused, not purposely, but we have shot some guns a significant amount of rounds without cleaning, and the guns will function fine if they're in good operational shape. However, it doesn't take that long to clean the gun, and by cleaning the gun, you ensure the gun is well lubricated, and the fact that it's going to work good when you need it to. And I would rather spend 5 minutes 4 times a year, if I'm not going to take this gun and shoot it often, which I do, cleaning it just to make sure I've got an operational gun. We need something to wipe the oil down with.
I'll be back.
Alright. So he's going to run and get some paper towels just so we can wipe the outside of this gun down. I try not to put the gun back in the leather with a lot of oil on it. The oil will gum up on the leather, and this gun does have a leather in the waistband holster that I carry it with. So we're just gonna get something here to try to clean this up. We hope this series is somewhat educational. We've got a bunch of different types of guns that are ready to be cleaned and need to be cleaned. So we're going to make a bunch of short videos, this being the first one. We're just trying to get back in the swing of making videos. We have some new equipment we're trying out this time. We hope everybody hasn't gone away too far, and we hope that these gun cleaning videos are somewhat helpful. If you need help breaking these guns down, these particular guns, we'll do a close up here right before we wrap this video. I'm going to have Hunter step behind the camera and zoom in, and I'll show everybody again how to break this gun down. Alright, so Hunter, if you don't care, try to zoom in on the gun. I'm just going to show everybody how to break this gun down. Good there. This is the Taurus PT709 Slim. It's a 9mm Taurus, made in Brazil. It's a nice shooting gun. It's an inexpensive gun, so everybody's got their opinions on what you should carry. I have had this gun for about a year and a half, and this gun has never failed to operate. You have it zoomed in good? You got the gun centered?
Pick it up.
All right.
There you go.
Got it?
Yep.
Okay, so this gun is empty. I've not actually loaded it yet. So to disassemble this gun, there is a release lever right here. If you can see it, it's on both sides of the gun. To release it, what I like to do is I like to hook my middle finger in here, pull the barrel back just a little bit, the slide back just a little bit, pull down on that release, and just let the slide go back forward. And then the way to get the gun to slide forward, and this is why you have to make sure this gun is unloaded before you try this, you pull the trigger and the slide comes right off the gun, okay? And then you're right back to where we were a minute ago. 2 quick steps in 3 pieces. Same thing to put it back together. It's that quick to put the gun back together. Slide the slide right back on top of the gun. Rack it one time, and you're back to an operational gun. Alright, go ahead and zoom back out, Hunter. I hope that was informational. If you've got one of these guns and you're trying to figure out how to disassemble it and clean it, every gun's a little bit unique. Flip the screen back over. Alright, so all these guns are different to disassemble, but at the end of the day, after you know how to do it, there's no reason why you couldn't take this gun apart and clean it and put it right back together, even while you're at the range. And that is something that I don't usually do, but I do see people at the range cleaning their guns up before they take them home. Everybody's got their own opinion of that. I don't feel like you could do a good job cleaning the gun at the range, and most of the time, especially if it's a gun I'm carrying, it's going right back on me, so it doesn't really matter if it gets cleaned up. So important ports, the sections to oil. These polymer guns have metal slide guides, so you just want to get some oil on the slide guides, and what that'll do when you put the slide back on the gun and you rack it a few times is that'll distribute that oil on the inside of the slide rails where it needs to go, right? And that's why there's not a lot of magic here. Really all you got to do is keep the gun clean, and it's going to work good for you. These things are pretty resilient out of the gates. They're built that way. It's a gun. It's meant to do one job. And it usually does that one job pretty well. So this is pretty well cleaned up here. Alright. Alright. Put her back together. And this gun's ready to go. Gun's loaded again, back in the holster. We did not chamber around, and I didn't chamber around on purpose. This gun is not going to be carried right now. I'm not actually carrying that gun currently. So at the house, if it's not the gun we're carrying on us, though they are loaded, they are not chambered, and there's reasons for that. We don't need 10 guns sitting here, all with rounds sitting hot in the chamber. Especially, there's just no reason for it. So we hope that's been helpful. We're going to go ahead and wrap this video up here. We're going to have 3 more we're going to do right now. We're going to put them all out at one fell swoop. We have a lot of guns that need cleaned. We're going to do 4 pistols today. The next couple videos, we might get a few of the ARs out and clean them. Those need cleaned. We've got some competition 22s that need cleaned up. A couple carbine rifles. So we're going to end this video. We're going to come right back to a few more videos. They'll all be posted up together. So if you found this educational and you got a few other guns that we're going to clean personally, we can show you how to take them apart and clean them. Hope this was educational, and we're going to keep trying to put out some content, and hopefully you enjoy what we're putting up there. Thank you very much, and have a good day.